Hi, welcome back to Mr. Menta's ELL classroom. This is our advanced class section on the past tense, focusing on chapter 16 of the Blue Book. This is video B. So, we've covered the introduction to chapter 16, and now we get to start to get into some of the more interesting things, in particular, irregular verbs. So, before you get started, you should have this page printed off. This is worksheet 124. You should be able to find it in the description of the YouTube video. You will also need a sheet of notebook paper and a pen and pencil. And then you'll want this page, textbook page 151. This one you can either print off or you can just pull it up on your computer or your tablet. All you need to be able to do is read it. All right. So, last time we talked about your basic past tense verbs and how we needed to add ed to the end of most of them. You know, I work every day. I worked yesterday. But there's a lot of words in English that break the rules. That's why I have a job, because there's all these little things that you have to go over if you want to get really good at English that might not be easy the first time you try it. So we're going to go over some of those words today. You may or may not know all of these words. Okay? So to give us our example, over here we have, in the box, I went, I didn't go. Now, those might sound like totally different words, went and go, but they're actually the same. They're two forms of the same word. The past tense of go is went. It just changes to a totally different word because it's an irregular verb and it's weird. So, I went, I didn't go. Did you go? Yes, I did. No, I didn't. So those are the words we're going to be using here. Let's just read the example. Did you go to the bank this afternoon? No, we didn't. We went to the supermarket. And then over here in a box, they have the words go and went. The two versions of the same irregular verb. And every word that you are going to be using in this exercise today is going to focus on one of those irregular verbs that doesn't look like they should be the same word, but they are, just like go and went. Okay? So, take out your sheet of notebook paper and write down, number one, did you take the subway this morning? Write that down. And then over here in the box, see, in this box, they're telling us that take is an irregular verb. And the past tense form of take is took. So from the box, you know that. So you're going to write, did you take the subway this morning? No, I didn't. I took the bus. Okay? You're going to write that down. That's going to be the first part of this two-part exercise. So each one of these, make sure you look in the box. The answer's in the box. We're going to practice these irregular verbs. Okay? So now what you need to do is pause the video, and write down your answers on your sheet of notebook paper. Do all of them. Then after you're done writing, unpause the video and I'll go over the answers with you. But make sure you do the writing. This is where the learning happens. When you're writing it down, this is what's going to help you remember it. Okay? You're not going to be able to remember this if you just keep watching the video and let me give you the answers. The writing exercise is where this actually becomes a lesson rather than just a video. Okay? So pause the video and write the answers. I'll wait. Okay. Hope you finished the exercise. So, next, number 2. This is what you wrote. Did he have a headache last night? No, he didn't. Period. He had a backache. Okay? Number 3. Did Wanda get up at 9 o'clock this morning? No, she didn't. She got up at 7 o'clock. Make sure you wrote got. Make sure you wrote got instead of get. Make sure you spelled it, G-O-T. That's what we're doing here. That's what we're practicing, making sure we remember that. You can't write, she get up at 7 o'clock. That's not how we're going to do it in the advanced class. We got to get this right every time, okay? Number 4. Did your children make dinner today? No, they didn't. They made breakfast. Number 5. Right, number 5? Yes, number 5. Did Michael buy a car yesterday? No, he didn't. He bought a bike. And again, make sure you've got your spelling here. There is no excuse for spelling errors because you've got the words written right here. Right here. And if you need to look anything up, you can look up back from the page in our previous lesson where we went over all of the words before we started the chapter. Okay, you should have that because you should have the lesson you did yesterday. So we're paying attention to spelling. No excuse for spelling errors. Did they do their homework last night? No, they didn't. They did their exercises. Okay? Did Tommy write to his girlfriend this week? Tommy's pretty young to have a girlfriend, huh? Anyway, no, he didn't. He wrote to his grandmother. Again, wrote. The word changed. So we're doing several things at once here. We're doing everything that we did in the previous exercise, and then we're also making sure we have the irregular verbs. And here's the granddaddy of all weird words in English. Read and read. Did you read the newspaper this afternoon? No, I didn't. I read a book. So when we say read in the present tense, we pronounce it read. When we say the past tense of the word read, we say it read. We make it sound different, even though the spelling is the same. It's really weird. It's really weird, but that's English for you. Okay, so that is page 151. Now, we're going to take out our worksheet, page 124, and we're going to go over those same words. So we're going to practice all the same words, only now you don't have a box showing you the answer, okay? So if you can, see if you can answer these questions all from memory. Look it up on the previous page if you have to, but if you can, see if you can remember how to spell, with correct spelling, the irregular forms of all these words. So over here, it's the same kind of thing. Question number 1, I didn't buy a car, I bought a motorcycle. So same word as we were using before, buy and bought. You just got to remember it this time. So, fill in that one, number 2, and then same thing when you get to this section. Again, we're using the same words we just used in our textbook exercise. This is just getting a little practice and making sure you can remember them now if you don't have the answer in a box. So Robert usually writes his friends, and over here we're going to say he didn't write to his friends yesterday. He wrote to his grandparents. So you're going to take this verb and we're going to change it. First we're going to do the negative past, say they did not do it in the past, and then we're going to do the positive past, say they did it in the past. So, hope you were paying attention in the last exercise, because we're going to be doing the same words again here, irregular verbs, practice, part 2. I'll take it back up to the top here. You fill in all these answers here, and I think this is getting a little more challenging. I think, as I said, this chapter gets harder and harder as we go. We've reached a point where we have to remember to do several things at once. So make sure you don't cheat yourself. Don't cheat yourself. Actually pause the video here, stop, and fill in the answers. Think about each question, write the answer. That's why you're doing it. That's where the learning is going to happen. Okay? So pause the video and write the answers, and then when you're done, unpause it, and I'll go over the answers with you. I'll wait. Okay, so, number 2. Michael didn't have a headache. He had, H-A-D, a toothache. Number 3. Alice didn't write to her uncle. She wrote to her cousin. W-R-O-T-E. Oh, I'm going to get in trouble with these spellings. I can just feel it. Number 4. We didn't do our homework last night. We did yoga. D-I-D. Number 5. They didn't take the bus to work today. They took the train. T-O-O-K. Number 6. Barbara didn't get up at 7 this morning. She got, G-O-T, up at 6. Boy, she's getting up earlier than me, I'll tell you that. My friend and I didn't go swimming yesterday. We went bowling. W-E-N-T. Martha didn't read the newspaper last night. She read a book. R-E-A-D. My children didn't make breakfast this morning. They made lunch. M-A-D-E. Pretty straightforward? Okay. Moving on then. So now, let's see if can I get that all in one shot? Yeah, so we did the first one already. So starting with number 2. Number 2. I usually have a cold in January. I didn't have a cold last January. I had a cold last July. I spelled them all for you last time. I'm not going to spell every single one this time, but make sure you pay attention. Make sure you wrote have here and had here. Those are different words. They are not interchangeable. You cannot sometimes write have when you should have written had. That's the advanced English class thing. You got to be able to always make sure you remember which word you're supposed to use. We usually eat at home on Friday night. We didn't eat at home last Friday night. We ate, A-T-E, at home at a very nice restaurant. In a very nice restaurant. Bill usually gets up. Is that a typo there? Yeah, there's a typo there. He usually gets, I should say at. So I apologize for that. The book is wrong. We caught a mistake in the book. It happens. Bill usually gets up at 7 o'clock in the morning. He didn't get up at 7 o'clock this morning. He got up at 10 o'clock. That's starting to sound more like me. Whew. Tom and Tina usually go dancing every weekend. They didn't go dancing this weekend. They went sailing. Susie usually drinks milk every afternoon. She didn't drink milk this afternoon. She drank lemonade. My brother usually makes lunch on Sunday. He didn't make lunch last Sunday. He made dinner. Mr. Lee usually takes his wife to the movies. He didn't take his wife to the movies last night. He took his daughter and his son-in-law. We usually buy food at a large supermarket. We didn't buy food at a supermarket today. Make sure you spell buy, B-U-Y, not B-Y, B-U-Y. We bought food at a small grocery store. I usually sit next to Maria in English class. I didn't sit next to Maria yesterday. I sat next to her sister, Carmen. All right, so that is our second video in chapter 16, review of irregular verbs. At this point, you can go on to the next video, or you can pick up again tomorrow. Don't go through them all at once.